Yeah, he was just telling me about how his girlfriend doesn't watch the channel, and I got pretty pissed about it.
Yeah. I've been trying, man. I'm trying.
Bang, coming for the top, got the game in the lock. Every time that I drop, know I gotta go bang. I'ma keep it hot, know that I can never stop. Keeping everything I got, I'ma make it go bang.
Bring her more into it.
Show some more skin. She'll watch that shit for sure.
Slowly.
Lather yourself up with baby oil. What's up now? You can't say no.
Well, I already do that.
Oh, sick.
What else
Nice.
do I need to do?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the 6th Round MMA Show. And honestly, we have a big pay-per-view. Not my favorite. I don't know why. I'll explain that later. But it is big nonetheless. You have two huge title fights and two huge, both title fights are rematches.
Yeah.
So and they're going to be amazing fights. So my lack of energy is not because they're not going to be amazing. I guess it's just because, and I think we talked about this, there's no real fighter on the card. I love them all, but there's not one, like everybody has that fighter where they're emotionally connected with, where when they see them go out and fight, it's like my brother's fighting or my teammate's fighting, even though if you don't know them.
Yeah.
Like I feel that way about Donald Cerrone. I feel that way about Khabib Nurmagomedov when he was fighting. Cain Velasquez was another huge one for me. DC Cormier too, believe it or not. Anthony Johnson, Vanderlei Silva, Anderson Silva, Jose Aldo. You know, those names are ones that when they came out, I was like, holy shit.
Palms get a little sweaty.
Here we go.
Heart rate goes up.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I don't feel it.
You kind of feel a little disconnected.
Yeah. Like I'm hugely connected to the idea of watching the fights, and they're all not downplaying them because they're all amazing competitors, and these are definitely promised to be non-boring fights.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. And added to the card, Leon Edwards, Nate Diaz.
That's right.
You know, great fights all around.
Yep.
But I think I feel the exact same way. But at the end of the day, we're both fight fans.
Yep.
I think, right? We're both excited to watch these fights. But again, not as intrigued as we usually are. But maybe that can change.
Yep.
Right? So let's get into it.
Actually, since you talked about it, why don't we just it'll be a little bit out of order, but talk about Leon Edwards and Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
Why not?
So just added to this card, I think, it was scratched on the last pay-per-view.
Yeah, because Nate had a minor injury.
Minor injury.
Minor.
Yeah. I think they were going to actually cancel the fight altogether, but luckily they pushed it into this card.
Yep.
Kind of rounds out the card, I think. It makes it a little bit stronger and a little bit better.
It's gonna be the most popular fight on the card.
Yeah.
Just because of Nate Diaz, his notoriety is second to none of those guys. It's not.
Yeah, just because of his wars with Conor McGregor. He's built up such a name.
Yep.
Actually has a YouTube channel now. I don't know if you're following on YouTube, but it's kind of fun to see what he does behind the scenes as well.
Yep.
Obviously, his brother, Nick Diaz,
Coming back.
known worldwide, coming back as well. So this is a fun one. This is an interesting one. Facing Leon Edwards, though.
Yeah.
Tough fight to come back to.
Huge mismatch.
Tough fight.
Huge mismatch.
And for what reasons? Why do you think it's a mismatch?
Well, because we saw in the fight against Jorge Masvidal, and not one fight tells the whole picture. I get it, but Nate Diaz is always susceptible to the calf kick,
Okay.
and he always welcomes it because he's trying to catch your foot and take you down. But Leon Edwards has too much snap on his kicks. He is an elite kickboxer.
he's
I
very
truly
fast.
believe he's throwing that fight, and it comes back before anybody even has time to grab it. Even if we watch that Bilal fight, where he fought Bilal Muhammad, and it was a no contest, obviously, unfortunately. But the few kicks that he threw, I don't think anybody throws with snap like that. Even Edson Barbosa.
Well, even his hands, too,
Yep.
are very fast.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got those very fast, snappy techniques. We even saw in the Conor fight, Nate Diaz just leaves that lead leg out there.
Yep.
Because he fights in such an unorthodox way.
Yep.
Tough fight for Nate Diaz coming back. We don't know what he looks like. He's been off for a few years since the Anthony Pettit. No, sorry. Let me correct myself. The Jorge Masvidal fight, where we saw that end by doctor stoppage. He got a cut. The doctor stopped it. So, what does Nate Diaz need to do, or Leon Edwards need to do to be successful in this fight?
I don't know. I mean, so I do. The only way Nate can win this fight, if he can at all, like I really don't see a way for him to win this fight, is literally only by the ground.
Well, I think
Pulling guard.
He needs to make it what he's best at, make it a dirty fight up against the cage.
Yeah.
Do a little bit more grappling, right? Because we know that Leon has a strong game, but is it enough to stop Nate Diaz?
Yeah.
Right? So that's what he needs to do. But Leon Edwards, what does he need to do? I just think he needs to beat Leon Edwards.
No, that's literally. That was literally what I was gonna say. Yeah. Just keep doing what he's been doing. Because his kickboxing is so. I just like a thing. Like it's gonna be a stand-up war, even though Nate Diaz should take it to the ground and make it a grappling match. Because that's again, like you said, up against the cage, take away all those long limbs and those long techniques. Yes. Right, the snap kicks. You'll take away all those techniques for sure. Yeah. But Leon Edwards is a really good kickboxer. Those knees are gonna come into play too. Those elbows are gonna come into play. I think Nate Diaz is in danger everywhere. Yeah. Even off of his back, you want to pull guard. That's fine, but you have to act quick because Jorge Masvidal is no crafty jiu-jitsu specialist. And you pulled guard on Jorge, and you couldn't do anything.
Right.
Because there was just too much volume of techniques coming your way. And I think Leon Edwards is going to bring that volume as well. He wants this. He needs to get back in the picture. Nobody's been wanting to fight him forever. He had his chance against poor Bilal. That fight fell through, unfortunately. Yeah. And the only person who would take him is, of course, Nate Diaz.
Yeah. One thing I will say, hasn't fought in a long time. 2 years before that Bilal fight, that ended in the second round, I believe. So, do you see it getting any worse if he drags him into deep waters? If Nate drags him into the well, I guess it's only 3 rounds.
It's only three rounds.
So, and we know Nate's a durable guy.
And Leon's not a brawler. He's not going to go on there swinging for the fences. Everything he throws is going to be thrown with precision. Yeah. And there's a method to all of his madness. He's not gonna. I feel like he's not gonna utilize unnecessary energy. Right?
He's very calm, very cool and collected.
And he doesn't like fighting people like that. Yes. He likes fighting people. They're like, all right, forget the technique. Let's fucking scrap. And Leon's gonna give him that in a way that he's not gonna like. Right? So. Obviously, it's no secret based off what I said. I love Nate Diaz. He's a lot of fun. I'm just talking about styles make fights, and I think this style is definitely way in Leon Edwards' favor. And Leon, I mean, it might go to decision just because he's very durable. Yeah. But I can see how Leon Edwards, he's a killer. I can see him getting a finish in the second round. I really can. Maybe even the first. Yep. We've seen Nate Diaz being knocked out before. It's very much not a sight that we see often, but it does happen, and this is going to happen, I think.
Yeah, I think I definitely think it's decision, but Leon just beats him up for 3 rounds straight. Yeah. I think it might go that way.
Actually, in the next fight we're going to talk about right now, we're actually hinting at Leon Edwards' past opponent. We're talking about Bilal Muhammad. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, and we don't know what the eye poke looked like. You know, has he fully recovered yet? I don't know. He looks like he's okay. He looks like he's fine. But fighting a very tough opponent in Damian Maia.
Yeah. Very tough grappler for sure. And he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. And there's different levels to it. There's a black belt. Yep. And then there's a black belt. Yep. And Damian Maia is by far probably the best grappler in the UFC that maybe they've almost ever seen. There's one guy that's better than him. That was better than him, and that was Jake Shields. Jake Shields definitely had some of the craziest jiu-jitsu. And amazing. But Bilal, the one thing that's a benefit to him is the fight ended terribly last time. Yeah. But he was doing all right, and he's still going to be in shape because it was his eye, so he can still train. He can still be prepared for his next fight. So I think he was never fully out of training camp, so now he's had a full training camp where Leon Edwards wasn't a full training camp for him, right? To fight Leon. Right. So this might be all right. I think he has more. You know what's crazy? My prediction might blow you away, but I do think Bilal is going to give it to Damian Maia. I think Damian Maia is just
a little too old.
He's coming. Yeah, he's coming to the peak. Okay. People are knowing his game plan, and Bilal having a jiu-jitsu game as well will know enough, I think, to stay away. Yeah. Not to engage, to stay away from it.
I think he has a little bit of that Kamaru Usman offensive wrestling enough to just get away from the jiu-jitsu a little bit, right? Of Damian Maia. But Maia, you look at his record, and you look at the people that he's lost against in the division, all high-level guys. Yep. Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington, Gilbert, and obviously Tyron Woodley when he was on that tear back in the day. But all high-level guys. This one's tough to call. Yeah. It depends on who is going to be the aggressor here. And I think with experience comes getting, your hand gets raised. So I'm going to have to go with Damian Maia here.
Yeah, I think I see Bilal catching Damian Maia on the way in. Maybe for an exchange, because Damian Maia is getting a lot better. It's gotten a lot better at the striking. Yes. Yeah. So I think he's going to be maybe a little bit overconfident, and Bilal's just going to be too hungry because he knows that no one really got to see him fight against Leon Edwards. We really haven't seen a lot of him. We don't have a lot of tape of Bilal.
And in my opinion, he was losing those first couple of rounds
Yep.
against Leon. He was getting beat up a little bit.
He
for
was.
Sure.
He was. I just mean he's going to be hungry, and that might be a good wake-up call too, because you're getting beat up and you came away with a no contest. So psychologically, you know you lost, but on paper it was a no contest. You got a freebie, you got a free pass.
But that was against Leon Edwards.
It was against us, an elite, like not even a good striker. It's an elite striker.
Yeah.
But Bilal. I'm going with Bilal. I think Bilal, honestly, in the first round, I think it's going to be a shocker where we're going to see like holy fuck, did that just happen type of thing. I think Damian Maia is going to get knocked out, almost like that Nate Marquardt situation once upon a time back in the day. You think it's going to be a big out war. Damian Maia goes in right away, and Nate Marquardt takes him right out.
Yeah, maybe
Knocked him out instantly.
shoots right away and then boom.
It might not happen right away that fast. I just think it's going to be a flash KO at some point in time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Damian Maia submission for me.
Okay.
It's got to be a submission. Okay. Next fight on the card.
Co-main event.
Co-main event. Davidson Figueiredo
Yep.
versus, and this is a rematch, Brandon Moreno.
Moreno.
Yeah.
BJJ black belt against BJJ black belt, and ironically, the last fight was a war.
Which, in my opinion, one of the best fights I've watched in recent years.
And I think this one's gonna be no different. Which is, it's just surprising that I'm not emotionally invested, because all these fights are set up to be amazing.
Yeah.
They are. Like, this is gonna be one of those ones where actually it's gonna be kind of one of those relaxing ones where I get to watch amazing fights without necessarily caring too much who wins or loses.
Without being too invested.
Very
right?
rare, but I like that feeling.
Yeah. Was Figueiredo injured for that first fight?
I don't think
Because
so.
that's what Moreno is saying a little bit. Maybe he was sick. Maybe he was injured. He did look a little off of his game. Like he was being almost sometimes too aggressive, and he was getting caught.
Yeah.
Right? We haven't really seen that happen since he's rose to the top of the division like he has. But Brandon Moreno, man, this kid can fight.
He can.
Holy
and
shit.
he's got something that Figueiredo doesn't have too much of. I think Moreno hits harder,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And Figueiredo is more focused on his amazing jiu-jitsu. So he uses his striking to usually get him there, where Moreno has no problem staying on his feet. Sounds stupid because Figueiredo stayed on his feet last fight, but what I mean is Moreno usually likes to choose that element.
But I mean, you could see Figueiredo trying.
Yeah.
He was trying to keep him in positions. Moreno was just too slippery to get, such simple things that he does just to get back to his feet. I love the one where Figueiredo's coming in. I think it was the first or second round, and Moreno just hooks his foot, hooks the other foot with his left leg, and just pushes him back, and you can see Figueiredo just go flying.
Yep.
And that's what the whole fight is. So many scrambles during this fight too, but so many good boxing exchanges.
Yep.
And they were fighting, pretty much in a phone booth for the whole fight.
And I think this is going to be a direct sequel to that. Like literally direct, meanwhile picking up where they left off. And it's going to be exciting. I don't think it's going to go the distance this time. It'd be cool if it did, because that'd be 5 rounds of explosiveness.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling someone's going to get caught here. I don't know who it is. I think it's going to be Figueiredo. I do. I think he's going to maintain that belt around his waist by any means necessary. And I think it'll have to be by ground and pound, because I don't think Moreno's going to tap to you. He's not going to tap. So maybe, rubber him, get him on the ground, and just pound him until the ref pulls him off. I don't know when it's going to be, but I think it would be later. Like, I'm talking like round 4, maybe even round 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing that happens with Figueiredo is the gas tank is a bit of an issue, because he cuts so much weight
Big time.
to get to this division. We could see it a little bit happening in the last fight. He's getting a little bit tired, but he's the champ for a reason.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Has that mindset, But tough one to call.
Yep.
I don't know how to call this one, to be honest with you.
Take Moreno's striking away from him, because I think that's where Moreno wins.
Yes.
Is on the feet. You got to close that gap, and I think Figueiredo is going to do just that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know who I got?
Moreno.
No. Moreno, Figueiredo.
No.
What the fuck? Unbelievable.
If I'm gonna go storylines, I would love to see Moreno get the belt wrapped around his waist.
Yep.
I think he's been showing up to work with his lunch pail every single time he comes to fight, and I would love for him to get the win here.
Yep.
But that's not what I see happening. I just think it's going to be an all-out war again, and somebody's going to get their hand raised. I just don't know who. I would love for it to be Moreno.
With his lunch pail.
With his lunch pail. You don't go to work with a lunch pail?
No.
No?
I have a
Okay.
lunch bag. It's like a lunch satchel.
Okay. You just do skip the dishes though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Bring my debit card.
Okay. So
Main event.
talking about lunch pails,
Yep.
we got Vettori,
Marvin.
Marvin, right?
Yep.
We've got Marvin Vettori versus the champion coming back to his
Division.
rightful division, Israel Adesanya.
Yeah. The last style bender.
The last style
Second to
bender.
last is Jake Paul. Remember that video?
I didn't see that video. We got to link that somewhere down.
Yeah, that was such a great one. I love it. If you're the last, I'm second to last. So great. So great. So great.
Jesse, another rematch.
Yep.
This is our second rematch on the card. One that I really didn't see or really think that needed to happen next,
Yep.
because I would love for my boy Rob to get that rightful rematch. He's been killing everybody since he lost. But sure, throw Vettori in there. And one of the toughest fights that Israel ever had was against Vettori.
Yep.
So this one's another interesting one.
Yep.
Again, not really invested too much, but a fun fight nonetheless.
Yep.
What do you think?
Well, I think Israel is the type of fighter that when he loses, which he did,
Yep.
he come back and lost, or when he has a hard fight, I believe whatever fight he has, when he comes back and rematches those opponents, I believe he's going to have it figured out. I just believe he's so scientific with his striking. The dude's had over 100 and something fights, professional fights, boxing, kickboxing, MMA. He knows how to lose. He's even said that. Even after his loss against Yan,
Yep.
he's like, oh, I know how to lose. I've lost before. Not a big deal. Dare to be great. He doesn't care. He's very, very calm, and he handles a loss like nobody's business. He's a very, very calculative opponent. And where Marvin Vettori is more of a brawler, right? Just a ruthless brawler. And Stylebender knows how to deal with brawlers. He's so good at dealing with those Yoel Romeros, with the Robbie Whitakers, with the Paulo Costas. And now Marvin Vettori was near the beginning of his UFC career. Now I believe Marvin Vettori is going to fall in the same story. I do. I just think, especially Vettori coming off his last win against Kevin Holland. But I'm sorry, that is the last fight that you want to warm up against. I just think Kevin Holland just plays too much.
Yeah.
And it's not going to prepare you for literally probably the greatest 185er that the UFC might ever see for a long time.
Yeah, I think we know the game plan coming into this one, right? If we saw what he did against Kevin Holland, and if we saw what happened to Adesanya against Yan, I think he's just going to wrestle more. So I think that, Izzy's definitely working on that. I hope. I definitely hope, because Marvin, I don't know if he gets away with just striking with Izzy. I've never seen anyone win a battle on the feet with Izzy.
Calvin Gastelum almost came close.
True.
But again,
Very
this is like the beginning. This is when really Stylebender became Stylebender, in my opinion. Like, he was evolving, and I think now he's at his prime, and it's just going to get scarier. Like, I think, especially since he just came off a loss, I think it's really going to fuel a fire.
Well, he needs to state his claim. This is still my division. This is why I'm here, and this is why you guys are still in line. Marvin Vettori, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has the tools. Obviously, his last loss was to Adesanya.
Yep.
So is that, you think, in the back of his head still?
Yep. And I think,
Split decision?
I just see it. Oh yeah, for sure. And where it could have gone either way when you say split decision, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of could have, almost.
Yep.
But I still would have gave it to Israel watching that fight back. But I think Vettori is going to get played kind of like Paulo Costa, the big bad boy coming in ready to take out Adesanya, a little scrawny dude, and Adesanya is just going to piece him apart. Yep.
Yeah, I just think the speed. There's just too much of a speed differential here, and it's just going to play in Izzy's favor. But maybe Vettori can be successful with his wrestling.
Yeah.
Right? Just grind it out, chain his wrestling together, and sure, we can get the win that way. But I would love to see just a brawl.
Yeah.
Just an all-out brawl.
Well, Jan couldn't really, and Jan's a much bigger dude than Vettori, but Jan couldn't really use his size in the way of like wrestling and really like dominating in that sense.
He just kind of took him down and held him.
Yeah, and like
really
that's not going to work for Vettori. Like Vettori's going to be a little bit smaller, and I doubt Vettori's has even close to the fraction of strength that Jan does, in my opinion. Jan's a better striker, I think, more clinical striker, I believe, and more better game plans. And I think Marvin Vettori is too emotional, and that's where I think Jan did way better than Vettori, I think, will prove to do.
I think one thing coming into this fight that Vettori's camp that he has is Kevin Gastelum.
Yeah.
Gastelum.
Yeah.
He's in the same training camp. You know, he's probably showing him some tendencies that Adesanya had during the fight. Could play to his favor here.
Yep. Yeah, I do see a spanking. That's my prediction. I do see Israel coming away with this very, very unscathed and easily. Second, third round, it's gonna be a pounding. I think it's gonna be a finish. He's gonna knock him out. TKO. I do. I think Vettori has no chance.
Yeah, me too.
He has a puncher's. He has 2 hands, so you always have a chance. But 9 times out of 10.
And has he fought into the 4th and 5th round? I believe so.
Vettori?
The Kevin Holland fight was a main event, if I'm correct, right?
It was a main event. Yes, 5 rounds. It was. Yes, it was.
Well.
Yes,
okay.
it was. Yep.
So we've seen that he can do that.
No.
But
he was doing it against someone that gave up after round 2. Like Holland's really showed that he's. I hate to say it, but he's kind of a quitter.
Yeah.
And he makes excuses and he hides behind his jokes, but he's a quitter. Which is really weird to say, but he is. So this is it. Totally. That's why I think it's going to give him a false sense of confidence beating Kevin Holland the way he did. Because Kevin Holland,
Well, if we look at Vettori's last few opponents, Kevin Holland, right? 2020 fought Jack Hermanson, right? That was a decision. Submission against Carl Roberson. So, I mean, he's not going out and knocking guys out. Decision, Andrew Sanchez, decision.
Yep. He's a grinder.
Cesar Ferreira, 2018.
Yeah, Cesar Mutanchi Ferreira is a thing of the past, though. That shouldn't even count.
So he's either decision or the one submission, and those are his wins in the past couple of years.
And as Israel's hungry.
Yeah.
He's hungry to get a finish. He's pissed off that he lost the last fight, and he wants to come back and stake his claim again. Yeah. Because he knows if he loses this fight,
it's going to be bad.
Bad.
It's going to be bad. Yeah.
Bad.
It's it's a fall. It's a far fall from grace once that belt gets stripped, right?
Yeah, it is. But Israel. I'm not even a big Israel fan, but he knows how to lose. He knows how to lose. Over 100 and something fights. He's lost before, and it just doesn't faze him. He knows it's all a part of the game.
Yep.
It's all a part of building, and I think he'll come back bigger, better, stronger, and take Vettori out.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm going to stick with Jesse on this one, and I think Israel's taking this one by 3rd round knockout. Question mark kid. I'm just going to throw it out there, guys.
Question mark kid.
I'm just going to throw it out there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be a right cross. I'm throwing that out there.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Or a flying, spinning areola hook.
Oh, man. Yeah, those hurt.
All right, guys. Hope you love our bullshit. Hope you love our antics. Leave a like, dislike down below. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Who's going to win this weekend? What's your favorite fight you want to see in this card? Are you excited for Nate Diaz to make his comeback against Leon Edwards? Are you excited to see Leon Edwards finally, hopefully, make it through a fight? Let us know below. Got anything to say? Except bye?
I don't think so.
Okay,
see
bye.
You guys. Take care.
Bang, coming for the top, got the game in the lock. Every time that I drop, know I gotta go bang. I'ma keep it hot, know that I can never stop. Keeping everything I got, I'ma make it go bang. Better than the best, I'ma tell it with my chest. I don't got no time to rest, now they know what I'm saying. Everybody know I'm coming next, I'ma leave it in a mess. If they wanna test, I'ma make it bang. Step into the mind of a young man with the plan.